my sweet little garbanzo beans. I would like to say welcome to all of my little baby beans who have their South Node in Pisces to your South Node past life energy reading. Now I want to say I started to record this before and then I had this weird camera malfunction, so this is my second time around, but I'm a firm believer in not redrawing the cards, so these are what had come out for you before, and so I'm going to do my same kind of little mini intro and explanation of this reading, and then kind of talk about what I had channeled prior when I had started this the first time. So I do apologize. I also apologize if you can hear the construction outside my window. I was trying to wait for them to be done, but if I waited, it would never happen. So here we are. Also, I want to apologize. You might be able to tell I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. So I'm a little bit raspy, a little bit scratchy, but we're going to do our best. So all of that aside, welcome, my sweet little babies. So just a quick little discussion about your South Node in your natal chart. Now this is going to be really different and individualized depending on what, if you're here, this is, ideally for people who have their South Node in Pisces, right? And if you're not sure what your South Node placement is, I did leave a link in the description box where you can go and look at your natal chart and kind of look at your, and depending on the options you choose while you're generating your chart, if it doesn't show the glyph, the little symbol for your South Node, always know that your South Node is opposite your North Node, right? So if you were to look up your natal chart and your North Node is Virgo, this puts your South Node in Pisces. But it's also going to be really heavily impacted based on the house it's in, as well as any other planetary placements in that house. So if you are interested, I do natal chart readings, the link for which is also in the description box below, along with the link for my shop in general and all the other readings that I offer. But yeah, so your South Node placement is one of a couple of major placements in your natal chart that's supposed to kind of point to past life energy. Excuse me. And so this is also the most prominent placement that's supposed to point to your your past life energy. And this is because your South Node is an energy that you've already mastered, right? And it also kind of might be a little bit of an energy you default to. And this is also why your South Node is always opposite your North Node, because your South Node and your North Node have some shared characteristics that are expressed oppositionally. So the goal is here, if this is the energy you've already mastered, your North Node is oppositional, and you're being asked to detach from this energy and move toward your North Node in the hopes that you're gaining balance at a soul level. So with, South Node in Pisces, this puts the North Node in Virgo. We'll talk more about kind of what that means as we go along through your reading. But this is kind of just a general idea of what your South Node placement is really talking about, as well as, how to kind of navigate this. So having South Node in Pisces, I did pick this card out of my Astro deck. All my decks are also linked in the description box down below in case you're interested. And this is to represent you, my beautiful baby beans, with your South Node in Pisces. So the overarching theme here is the mystic. I'm trying to get it without the glare, I apologize. But it says imaginative, compassionate, healing, empathetic, mystical, adoring, magical, mystery tour, allowing, dreamy, ephemeral, oh, I love that word, enigmatic, spiritual, emotional, escapist, impractical, oceanic, self-pitying, and illogical. So yeah, these are kind of just some key ideas and overarching themes. One of the things I think is really, really fascinating is that, like I said, the opposite of Pisces is Virgo, so this would put your North Node in Virgo. One of the shared things that they have in common is that they're very much oriented towards service. Virgo tends to be very tangibly oriented towards service, so this is how you serve people in your material world around you. This can be a lot about volunteering, about doing things for other people. If Virgos had a love language, it would always be acts of service. That's kind of Virgo's energy, sort of an idea. And so they have a shared sort of energy of service. Pisces is more about spiritual and emotional service, which is why it's the mystic. So, you may be somebody who you're very, very comfortable with your emotions. You're very comfortable with your spirituality. This is also very much a clairvoyant energy. This is a very dreamy energy because it's ruled by Neptune. And, because we're talking about South Node, right, and since we have North and South Node, again, moving, detaching from one energy and moving toward its opposition in order to gain balance, one of the kind of, the South Node sort of shadow traits that might kind of be present is this escapism. It can also be this dreamy quality to the point where it's very, very hard to connect with reality. And this is where more of that North Node in Virgo comes in, because it's very grounded. It's very much in the tangible world. It's very practical, very analytical, and lacks some of that dreamy quality. Now, I will say, when I was doing the pre-meditation to get ready for this reading, the word that came up for me was abandonment. And initially, I was kind of tuning into this. I'm like, okay, so what I was kind of picking up is like this kind of orphaned energy almost, where it's like either what I feel like the past life energy that's coming through, and I want to mention this too, I forgot, the past life that's coming through with your South Node, this doesn't necessarily talk about your only past life or even your most prominent past life, but the past life that's most deeply impacting you in this life. So now that we got that out of the way, what I was really picking up on with this like abandonment and orphaned energy is this kind of energy where you may have had to really be almost in this past life that's coming through. You may have had to really be on your own. You may have felt very very different, very othered from your family. And this could be because of spiritual reasons or, again, very emotional reasons. Pisces energy, because it's ruled by Neptune, also really talks about our visions, right? Both like that kind of clairvoyant energy on a spiritual level, but also our emotional visions. So the emotional dreams that we have for ourselves. And that's more what I was picking up here. For some of you, I was kind of picking up this energy where you may have been sort of an emotional and spiritual mentor or almost parental figure for other like youth in your life. So this could talk about really having to take care of younger siblings. This could talk about, like I said, like a literal loss of parents, and having to kind of raise yourself and like spiritually guide yourself as well. Sorry, I had something tickling my back and it scared me and I was trying to deal with that. Okay, it was just the string from my shirt. We're good now. So this was kind of what I had picked up in the pre-meditation. So again, I do apologize that we already pulled these cards. You didn't get to see them come out. Just because I do like to try to pull on camera as much as possible. But these are what came out and I thought this was really interesting. So you had this card spouse and this card farm come out. So what I was picking up on, and then you also had love. So I was like, oh, okay, this is very much about a relationship. So what was coming through with this energy is that for many of you, I feel like, you may have had like run a farm with your spouse, and this may have been something where you it was a farm, right? It's like a working farm, but it's like a vision that you had, right? So this could be like taking care of animals, as opposed to, running something more for profit. This could also be, what I was picking up on is like providing this like sanctuary and this safe space for people who otherwise would not have one. So, something I was kind of picking up on is that if you had been in this position where you felt kind of othered or almost orphaned or literally were orphaned in this past life, you may have made a lot of space, like created a farm for, where you like people who would normally not be able to find shelter, find housing, find employment, got an opportunity to do that. Especially because Pisces rules the 12th house, and the 12th house can talk about like systems like prisons, or like schools. They're talking about like more kind of like established structures. And so this kind of to me talks about like, one of the things I was picking up on is that you may have really created this space for other people who like didn't get those same opportunities, who are disenfranchised. That's the word. I was like, oh, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Who were disenfranchised. So that's something I was kind of picking up. But for others of you, something I was really getting is that I feel like you may have grown up on a farm, grown up like working a lot, grown up in a very like practical, tangible kind of atmosphere. Or that's just kind of how daily life was. And I feel like this was difficult for you because you were more of this kind of spiritually attuned, dreamy kind of energy. And what I feel like happened is that you met somebody and fell in love, and it required that you take on a very different life. So this may have been where you, something I was kind of picking up on is where you almost maybe like married outside of the expectation, or you fell in love with somebody that was like not socially accepted. So this could be like falling in love with a person of the same gender when that was not at all accepted, or this could be marrying outside of your faith when that's not at all accepted. And another thing I was picking up on is that you may have fallen in love and really like bonded with somebody, especially because we only have 2 horses here, like really bonded with somebody, and it was a very freeing experience, but it required that you leave behind this old life. And what I was feeling like with farm is that there was this family structure where like this is what you do, right? You know, it's like we're a family that does this, but this is also our identity. So like you have a family farm, or like the farm has been in the family for generations, or like you have a family business, or it's just something like that. There's like tradition. There's a lot of like tradition. There's a lot of pressure I'm feeling. And then I felt like you fell in love with somebody where the relationship or the life you wanted to build together necessitated that you take a different path, right? Where you were kind of like, you had a different vision for yourself. And it was very healing, very like empathic. It was very spiritually in alignment with you, because also too, on this love card, the Merkaba is the same color as the background, and whenever they're the same color, because this deck has it where it's the same and where it's different, I always take that to be where your internal frequency is in like resonant harmony with your external reality, right? And because they're both blue, this is very much throat chakra energy, so this is about your truth, right? So what I was picking up on from this is that this experience really forced you to align your external reality with your internal frequency, right? And I feel like because of her posture, look, she's like holding, I don't know if you can see, she's like holding herself close, right? I feel like you held in this energy, and then this person just brought it out of you. So you also may have been called to like walk a spiritual path together, you know, be a part of a particular faith, especially. And I feel like when you met this person and you started to walk this path together, it was like everything that you had ever held in before just came like pouring out of you, is kind of what I feel like. Like I feel like it opened you up spiritually and emotionally, especially where the 12th house is like it's always about the end of a cycle, but it can talk about things that we keep hidden or that are like hidden from ourselves, because this can also talk about our subconscious as well. And so it feels like this is like everything that you had ever held in, or that was like your subconscious programming that had held you back. This relationship really opened you up, really opened your eyes to your own truth. And I feel like it brought your life into greater harmony. And so like I feel like this was so transformative for you that you devoted your life to it. And again, this is why I'm feeling like this is, you know, either like a spiritual calling, a religion. This was something that like you made this your everyday life because it was such a part of you, right? And as a result, you might find that in this life, you know, you really default to kind of more of this like Piscean energy. You may find that in its, you know, in its light attributes, you're very open, like you're very spiritually open, you're very emotionally open, you're very attuned and empathetic to like the needs of others, you're very devoted to creating like a good communal space for other people to kind of, like I said, express those emotions, express their spirituality, to explore their spirituality, to really like get in touch with their version of the divine, with like the divine within themselves as well. And this may be kind of like your bread and butter in this life, where you're just like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And with having your North Node in Virgo, you might find that you have all of these really interesting ideas, these really interesting, like you like to be kind of, you may find that you're very, very good at creating this vision. You have a lot of ideas for creating like spiritual and emotional community. But because your North Node is in Virgo, it might be really hard for you to ground these ideas, or sometimes because Virgo energy is very analytical, very logical, very cerebral because it's ruled by Mercury, you might find that you have a hard time fully like grounding your ideas or communicating them to other people. And so in this life, you're really being encouraged to move toward that Virgo energy, because you might have a lot of these like ideas. Again, you know, this is like being very prone to like escapism, being kind of lost in your head, being really lost in your feelings. You might be somebody who's very, very creative, or who has a lot of creative ideas, but again, it's hard. It's like there's this disconnect between your concepts and grounding them in reality. And that might be part of that playing out in this lifetime, is that you're being asked to grounding your ideas, making a practical plan. This is very much like, this is a feeling that you had. This was like an overwhelming feeling. And it may have been hard for you to fully communicate the messages, the spiritual messages you were getting intuitively, or downloading. And again, because her posture is very closed, these may be things that you sort of almost kept to yourself a little bit, because it was hard to fully share them with others, or it's hard to fully get your ideas across to other people. You know, it's hard to like fully see it clearly. And so in this life, you're being really encouraged to work on being very analytical and being very like learning how to communicate very effectively, very clearly, right? Because this is like a very poetic kind of energy, but I feel like some of your ideas or some of the messages from spirit may have gotten lost a little bit in that poeticism, and to the point where it might be hard for people who don't think like that, or who don't experience that energy a lot, to be able to connect with what you are saying. And I also am getting the feeling too that this spouse in this life, you guys were very much like opposites attract. So you may find in this life, your person, your life partner, whether you've met this person yet or not, you are oppositional, either like, you know, major placements, so sun sign, moon sign, Venus, or you have oppositional ascendant and descendant signs. So like, you know, if your ascendant is in Leo and your descendant is in, well, not your ascendant. Like if your ascendant is in like Leo and your descendant is in Aquarius, this person might have their ascendant in Aquarius and their descendant in Leo, something like that. That's just an example off the top of my head. You may find that that's kind of the case, because I feel like in this lifetime that's coming through, this person helped balance you out. This person may have been more practical. This person may have been very analytical, but also shared this core, like, you know, again, we were talking about the common threads between the two, and there's this common element of service. And this person, this is where you and this person met each other, right? You really connected over this like divine love, both between each other as well as for other people, and this desire to serve other people. So in this life, like I said, you might find that you are like opposites, right? So your life partner might have their South Node in Virgo, but I feel like you guys are being encouraged in this lifetime to embrace your Virgo energy in order to be able to, because I feel like you guys were like a package deal is almost what I'm getting. Like when you met, you just like, you were never apart, both because you really did love each other, but also you had this shared vision, and I feel like you compensated for each other's strengths and weaknesses, which can really, really work. But I feel like this life journey is a little bit different, so you're being encouraged to kind of embrace the other person's skill sets through your South and North Node, as well as some other placements. And this is in order to try to, because again, I feel like your life purpose, your life path, your trajectory in this life may be very similar to your past life, yet a little bit different, or the timing might be different. So it's very, very important that you both kind of are working to achieve balance, because I feel like one of the drawbacks of this setup in this past life that's coming through is that you guys may have really struggled to do this stuff on your own, or to bring your vision to life. And I feel like this is like powerhouse, power couple kind of like energy. The risk of that being because you might struggle to fully acknowledge or create your vision by yourselves. So let us pull some tarot and dig a little deeper. I am using the Herbcrafter's tarot. It is gorgeous. I highly recommend it. I want this one, not this one. No, I do want this one too. Ooh, okay. Is this one. So, okie dokie. Yeah, the Six of Pentacles is on the bottom, by the way. So again, you guys really complement each other. There's a lot of reciprocity. We have another 6 as well. So a lot of interpersonal harmony and balance. But let's see what you got. You got, ooh, okay, the 8 of Pentacles reversed. You got the Emperor. Okay. Oh, sorry if I bumped the camera. And the Justice card reversed. Okie dokie, 2 major arcana. So we have Aries energy and we have Libra energy. That's so funny because they are also opposites on the wheel of the zodiac. So again, I kind of get this energy where it's like your partner may have been very much this kind of Emperor energy in this past life. And this can go either way too. And you guys can have areas where, you know, you're more of the Emperor and they're more of this like Libra, you know, kind of energy, because the Emperor energy is Aries and we have Libra. So again, what I kind of feel like is I feel like, you know, one person may have kind of appeared more like the Emperor, or like this is a role that you guys share. This kind of sorry, I'm channeling. It's really hard to get all my words out. This kind of feels like this is the connection, right? Where this is like an empowered connection that can like get shit done. And that really was able to like use their time and their resources wisely and like really like manage a lot of resources and people and like a team, like a really like empowered kind of leader sort of energy. But it's really interesting because we have you know, the 8 of Pentacles, which is about honing your craft and really, really hard work, and it's reversed. And then we have the Justice card reversed, and this can be about balance. This can be about this can be about balance. This can also be about karma. What I'm essentially getting here, and I'll just cut to the chase, is that what I'm feeling from this is with the Emperor, this is like the connection. But with the 8 of Pentacles reversed and the Justice reversed, I feel like you guys didn't have to, once you like teamed up, it was like not hard work, right? But this is what I'm kind of almost getting from this card, is like the work you tried to do separately didn't really pan out or go anywhere. And again, with the Justice card reversed, I feel like this worked because you were together and you were united in your vision. But if you guys were split up, this would not have worked, right? This was because there's this like distinct imbalance, and I feel like it worked in this situation, but it otherwise would not have. And this is kind of this like Emperor energy of the connection itself. I also will say too, the Justice card can talk about legal matters as well. So kind of like what I was mentioning, you know, if you were from very different backgrounds, or, you know, this was like in some way, shape, or form a kind of forbidden love thing, this might be really talking about legal barriers toward your marriage, or toward your shared vision. Another thing I mentioned too is we were talking about creating a space for the disenfranchised who might otherwise not get an opportunity to like an opportunity for employment or for housing or you know, what have you. And so I feel like you in your spouse in a previous life really created the space for those who were disadvantaged in a legal perspective, or like within a society, or like within a particular governmental structure. They were at a disadvantage, and you guys made a space for them, especially with this Emperor energy. It was like you built a solid structure to welcome other people, especially too with the 8 of Pentacles reversed, potentially for people who couldn't find work elsewhere. So first of all, go you guys, because that's awesome. So let's pull you guys some more and let's dig a little bit deeper. Oh, we want this one, you guys, but we want it like this. That's how it's supposed to go. Oh gosh, sorry, it's really hard to shuffle on camera without bumping a million things, so I'm really trying hard, but it is a bit of a challenge. That's the word. Oh, it's this one. Okay. You guys are getting an extra card. Look at you. And you know what? I felt like I wanted to look at the top one this time, and we have the 6 of Swords, so it's another 6. So the number 6 may be particularly important to you, or important in this connection. Again, whether you've met this person yet or not. So, okay, this card fell out onto the top one, or the first card, so I'm going to read them both. So we have the Chariot reversed. We have the 9 of Wands reversed. Okay. We have the Strength card reversed. Okay. And we have the 7 of Pentacles upright. I love that card. It's so pretty. Okay. Let me just get these all set. I think it's fascinating. You have so many major arcana. Look, of these 7 cards out so far, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are major arcana. So this is clearly a big deal. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me back it up for you. Try not to knock over everything. Yeah, okay, much better. We like it. Yeah, you know, the Chariot and the 9 of Wands coming out reversed. Like I said, it's really interesting because the Chariot traditionally in the tarot depicts the charioteer. First of all, it's Cancer energy, and then we also have Leo energy with the Strength card. But the Chariot usually depicts a charioteer, and the Chariot is pulled by 2 sphinxes. One sphinx is predominantly black with like white accents, and the other sphinx is predominantly white with black accents. And to me, this always implies the fact that the charioteer is successful through and like, you know, finds victory through their own kind of like sheer force of will because they've mastered both their light and shadow sides. And again, this is the energy I'm picking up on here. I feel like you two are like, it's really cute in its own way. It's a package deal, but to the point where you may be hindering each other's growth in this framework. So you might not meet this person until much later in your life in this lifetime. Or you might find that this person's kind of in and out of your life. You know, you kind of break up, a few years go by, you come back together, or, you know, you break up and a very long time goes by and you come back together. You may find that this person, you know, you work really well together, but your relationship is just not very stable. There's something here where I feel like there is a barrier between you guys, whether it's time or whether it's like, you know, tangible struggles, really trying to work out this relationship, or it's something like that. And because with the Chariot here and the 9 of Wands reversed, I feel like you've been doing this dance for a long time. You've had many lifetimes together, and you've been working on a shared vision for a very, very long time. And again, this is the partnership. This is strong. And because you really do work well, and you create spaces for people who need them. You create emotional, spiritual, and very material places for people to find rest, find recuperation, to find community, as well as to potentially find their life purpose is what I'm getting. Like, I feel like you really, again, even though it's a very like tangible kind of sense, you really counsel people, and you really like help point them in the right direction, and you really help. Like, I feel like you help serve people. You get them unstuck and get them, you know, like help them create a better foundation for themselves. And so what I'm kind of picking up on with this is that with the Chariot reverse, though, and the 9 of Wands reverse, you've been doing this for so long, and you know how to work really well as a team, but I feel like this has hindered your growth a little bit individually. And so with the Strength card here too, because this version of the Strength card, this is the property is garlic, but there's also this honey here, and they're like making preserves with the garlic. And to me, and also too, we have the braid here. So you guys are really interwoven into each other's soul journeys. But what I'm also seeing with this is that I feel like there is this sweetness between the two of you, and that really is like the thing that preserves this union life after life, and it really works well because you guys work well spiritually together. But now in this lifetime, I feel like you both have lessons that you can't learn together because you compensate for each other's strengths and weaknesses so well, right? And what I'm kind of picking up on is that this lifetime, like I said, there's going to be some type of barrier between the two of you. And this also may be where in this lifetime, you know, maybe this person is, you know, of a gender you're not really attracted to, or you're not usually attracted to. So they're like, you feel this love for them, but you guys are like the best friends that have you could ever imagine. Or like you may have also found too, if that's the case, where this person makes you question your sexuality or your sexual identity because you love this person so much. You're like, I'm not usually attracted to this gender, but I feel this love. That's because you guys have shared this love for a very, very long time. You guys are best buds at the soul, and also very much in love at the soul. And you work really well spiritually together, which is why you keep coming back together repeatedly, because you also help, this person really helps you do your dharma and vice versa. But in this lifetime, you're really being asked to embrace your North Node energy, and they to embrace theirs. And this is why I feel like this person, probably you have oppositional North and South nodes, or something very similar. Again, like major placements are oppositional. You may find that one or both of you has a lot of oppositions in your natal chart, something like that. Because in this lifetime, you're being asked to really do something different, and also to really strengthen those areas where you are weak. And this person as well, vice versa, is being asked to do that. Because we end here with the Seven of Pentacles. And this is really talking about, this is the imagery of the oak tree. What you are building, what you have built, it will flourish. It is continuing to flourish. It's continuing to grow, right? You will see the results of this, both in this lifetime and in lifetimes to come. You will keep seeing the results of this, but it requires that you both kind of level up in the areas where you feel where you might really, really struggle. So in this case, with your North Node in Virgo, again, you might struggle to be really analytical. You might struggle with kind of more everyday earthly matters or 3D stuff. You might struggle with, being organized, because Virgo is very detail-oriented. Virgo also usually rules the 6th house, and this can talk a lot about our health, like our physical health. So you might struggle to connect with your physical body in some way, shape, or form. And it might be hard for you if you have like health concerns, or you have like, you have like a diet or exercise regimen you want to stick to. You might struggle with that a little bit. And so in this lifetime, you're really being asked to really strengthen your Virgo energy, and really strengthen your North Node. Again, this will also kind of be impacted depending on where your North Node is in your chart. So I'm going to pull you guys a couple of cards of advice before I let you go. Oh, here we go. Oh, they both want to come out, so we're going to take them both. Woohoo. Okay. So we have, the 8 of Wands. Get it? And we have, the 6 of Wands. It's perfect. Okay, this is beautiful. I love it. I never say this, but I'm going to say it right now. So the property for the 8 of Wands is ginger. One or both of you might be redheads. I don't know why, but I just wanted to throw that out there. With the 8 of Wands and the 6 of Wands, this is beautiful. Essentially, this is just saying, like, keep going, right? Keep working toward this, keep moving forward, stay optimistic. This can also be about travel as well, and about rapid fire communication. And so I'm feeling like if you already know this person, keep talking to them, keep getting their perspective. Like, if this is about travel, like, going to see somebody, what I'm essentially getting from this is keep moving forward, right? Keep being optimistic. It's hard to try to, admit to ourselves our strengths and weaknesses and try to work on those and rise above those. But it's a really important process. And so what I'm really mostly getting is keep that fire alive, keep that spiritual energy strong, keep working toward your goals, both spiritually and tangibly, and keep going, right? Because there's victory with the 6 of Wands. There is success. There's public recognition. There's a lot, and I feel like too, there's a lot of like celebration. There's a lot of happiness. I don't know, I'm just getting a really good vibe from these two together. Things are going to move forward. So especially if you've kind of been, because it's really interesting, we have a lot of reversals over here, and then we have these two come out upright. Things are going to keep moving forward. Things are going to be successful. So in those moments where you feel kind of frustrated, or you feel lost and you don't know what to do, keep moving forward. Just keep working on it. Keep working toward your growth, because you're definitely going to get there, right? things are gonna take off. And what I'm also kind of getting to is that when you have kind of brought this into balance and mastered these energies with all the fire here, I feel like things are just gonna like happen, right? There's gonna be this incendiary quality where things just like take off. And so especially, if this is revolving around a person that you've already met or you already know, or if you've had like a lot of really difficult relationships, just remember that there is this love, there is this person, and even though the road to getting to one another or to being together in harmony and in union might be a challenge in this life, there is victory, there's success. So keep moving forward, keep finding your passions, and keep working toward those passions because you've got this. So yeah, I hope this has helped. If you have, you want this reading for yourself specifically, please feel free to check out my Etsy shop link. My Etsy shop, the link is in the description down below. I will be adding this specific reading pretty soon, but if you have additional questions or you see, if you don't see something that meets your specific needs, please DM me because I'm happy to make custom readings as well. I'm wishing you guys all the best, the most beautiful things that life has to offer, love bugs, and I will hopefully talk to you soon. Take care.